Guys, how are you? Hope you all are doing good. Today I'm going to show you the game 14 of Mr. Ding and Mr. Gukesh. So, Ding Liren starts off with knight to f3 and Gukesh replies by d5. And then Ding plays g3 trying to develop his bishop to g2. And then Gukesh plays c5, controlling the center, and Ding plays d2. So knight to c6 and d4 played by Ding. And Gukesh did e6 and Ding castle. Gukesh captured the pawn on d4 and knight captures, and then knight to e7. His plan was that if the knight so Ding played c4. So now he was trying to captures and then knight to c6 attacking the queen. So now the most played move is queen to c3 or queen to d3 or queen to d1. Here Ding played queen to d1 and then d4 was played by Gukesh advancing his pawn and e3. Ding attacks the d4 pawn. And then Gukesh supports the pawn by doing bishop to c5. And then Ding captures the pawn and Gukesh captures with a bishop. So now knight to c3 played by Ding and then castles and then knight to b5. So now Gukesh has to retreat his bishop and does bishop to b6. Then b3 played by Ding and a6 attacking the knight on b5. So now Ding retreats the knight and Gukesh does bishop to d4 and then bishop to d2 played by Ding and e5 played by Gukesh. So queen to d2 and bishop to e6, knight to d5 controlling the c7 and e7 squares and also the b6 square. So now b5 played by Gukesh and Ding played an inaccuracy by capturing and giving away the center. He played pawn captures b5 and then pawn captures and then knight to f4 and then Gukesh captured the pawn and then Ding captured the knight on c6 and then Gukesh captured the bishop and queen captures bishop and then rook to b8. Rook a b8. So now Ding attacks the queen and queen to b6. So now the queen attacking the bishop and retreating. So bishop to f3 played because he didn't want the pawn to go to f3 and doing some danger in his king side. So now Gukesh captures the pawn and G captures because he can't capture with the pawn on f2 because it's pinned. And then b4 played by Gukesh and a4 played by Ding Liren and then enpassment and then rook captures on a3 and now g6 played by Gukesh. So now Ding tries to exchange queens but Gukesh does queen to b5 and then b4 played by Ding. And now the queen captures and then rook captures. And then rook to a8 and then rook captures, bishop captures and then g5 played by Gukesh and then bishop to d5 and then Gukesh retreats the bishop and does bishop to f5. So now rook to c1, king to g7, rook to c7 and then bishop to g6 and then rook to c4, played by Ding, exchanging and trying to exchange the rook. So now rook to b1, check, and then king to g2, and then rook to e1, rook to b4, h5, rook to a4, and attacking the bishop. Gukesh did rook to e5. Bishop retreats to f3 and then king h6 played by Gukesh, and then g1 and then king to g1 and then rook to e6, rook to c4, bishop, the pawn attacks the bishop by g4, bishop retreats to d5 attacking the rook, rook to d6 attacking the bishop, bishop retreats to b7, king to g5, and then f3 played by Ding, and f5 captures, captures, and then rook to b4. Now bishop to f7 played by Gukesh, and now the position is equal. So now king to f2, rook check, king to g1, king to f6, rook check, king to g5, rook to b4, bishop to e6, rook to a4, and then rook to b2 attacking the bishop, bishop to a8, and then f6, rook to f4, and then Gukesh attacks the rook, but it's defended right now, so it's not really an attack. So now blunders by rook to f2 because Gukesh captures the bishop, captures, and then bishop to d5 exchanging the bishop which cannot be declined. So now captures, rook, king to e3, and then king to e5. Now Ding just resigned because of if Ding played d3 or f2 trying to hold on to the pawn, king to d4, and then king to e2, and now take opposition, and then king to f2, take the d3 square, and then king to g1, and then king to e2, king to g2, take opposition, king to g1, king to f2. Now if white played king to h1, you captures this. Now white captures pawn push, and pawn push, and then mating the queen, king to h3, and then captures. So if king to f1, then king captures, king to e2, and then pawn push, and then promoting the pawns into queen. Now white moves the king, and then pawn push, king to g2, and now black's clearly winning. So that's the game Gukesh and Ding played in the 14th game. Thank you. Please subscribe.